Alright everybody, hello and welcome once again to another Hippie Dota cast. Today we have Fnatic versus Mouz Sports. I believe this was played yesterday, best of 3 for the Premier League. My usual sort of gig. Two fantastic teams. Mouz Sports obviously kinda still getting over the loss of one of their top players, Kuroki. I'm not sure if that's actually Kuroki playing right there, or if it's just somebody trolling. It very well could be. But, I mean, it's possible that Premier League rules did not allow them to change rosters in the middle of the league, but I am not sure. So, I'm just going to call him Kuroki for the duration of this, or maybe I'll figure something out. Let's go. Nyx Assassin first banned by Fnatic. What a surprise there. Nobody wants to deal with that hero ever. Wisp in the same boat. It's like every time Nyx gets let through, people always seem to regret it. Even with the Lifestealer rage that he can just eat the Nyx through the spiked carapace and not care, it's still pretty nasty to deal with. Just a hero with that much good utility in his spells, who's also incredibly hard to focus down because of a ridiculously powerful defensive ability. Yeah, I'll take that every game. Darkseer banned out by Fnatic. Hero that has not slipped away from the competitive scene pretty much ever. That hero is incredibly good. And Batrider gonna be the next ban by Mouz, so I'm assuming we're gonna get Fnatic picking up Keeper of the Light, especially because not only is Keeper of the Light a general first pick, but Fnatic loves global strategies more than just about anyone else. So we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see if they try to build around that. But they definitely have a tendency to pick strategies where they can get anywhere from anywhere on the map, and there's the Keeper pickup. Maybe Magnus Lifestealer, not necessarily a bad opening couple of picks for Mouz Sports right here, although it does kind of give away. I mean, that's both your carry and your likely mid hero that you're showing right there. So if they want to hide their draft a little, they won't quite get there, but two very, very powerful heroes. Shadow Demon as well. Gyrocopter. I finally remembered to mention Gyrocopter in the drafting process. Isn't that amazing?
5 seconds.
There's Magnus. And, oh! Called it. So I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a Gyrocopter and a Shadow Demon come out of Fnatic, just because that's such an amazing, ridiculous defensive trial, or a Shadow Demon and a Phantom Lancer picked up right here. Lock down their carry, get themselves the solid support, and also deny Mouz the use of the Shadow Demon, who is quite good. Disruption on, because you don't even need to disrupt Phantom Lancer. You can disrupt one of his illusions. They get all the same characteristics, and they'll still get the juxtapose, so they can duplicate themselves. And Shadow Demon can basically form his own army of Phantom Lancers, and the fresh illusions will have the longer duration of juxtapose illusions, rather than the duration of disruption illusions, making them actually quite potent. Fnatic taking their time. They might also want to think about picking up a Bane Elemental to deal with that Lifestealer. Obviously, both Enfeeble and Fiend's Grip, very, very potent against Lifestealer. Rubik going to be picked up very early. Phantom Lancer as well. Okay. So that's probably their try-line right there. I think only Na'Vi really ever runs mid-Rubik anymore, and even then they haven't done it for a while that I've seen. I may have missed a game or two. But that's very likely Fnatic's entire try-line they just picked up there. So expect to see a lot of off-lane and mid-bans coming out from Mouz during the second phase. We'll see what they want to pick up here. I would definitely get the Shadow Demon if I was them, because not only is he just a fantastic support, very all-around powerful, and actually pretty strong at all phases of the game, but again, he's very strong against the Phantom Lancer.
Reserve time.
Taking their time, though. They want to think about it. Thinking maybe we should try something unorthodox. Maybe we should pick an Ogre Magi. Hey, that's a hero that hasn't seen the light of day. That would be a lot of fun, actually. Obviously a hero with some serious drawbacks, but with some pretty solid strengths. And no, it's just going to be Gyrocopter. What a surprise, right? That makes their lanes at least a little bit weird, unless it's a support gyro, which you don't really see that often, but I guess you could still. They could run the offlane Magnus. He just hasn't been a popular offlaner ever since the Skira nerf. so it's a little odd. Silencer going to be banned out by Fnatic. They don't want anything. Basically, Silencer, because if you're worried about a global strat coming out, or if you want to run a global strat, you don't want to play against a Silencer, specifically because he can stop your global power from anywhere on the map. I mean, he obviously, not only does he work well in a global strat, but he's pretty much the best counter-initiator if you're playing against a global strat. And then, wow, quick bans coming out. Very quickly going to ban out Undying, so maybe they want to do try versus try if they're banning out Undying, or they're worried about a try versus try. And they just want to go defensive, which is what you would expect with a Phantom Lancer pickup. But Undying, of course, the ultimate destroyer of tri-lanes with that decay spam. And then Shadow Demon going to be banned out, because not only is he an amazing support, which Mouz still needs at least one support, depending on where they're going to lane that Gyrocopter, but just being so strong against the Phantom Lancer in particular, because you're building Phantom Lancer purely based around making strong illusions, creating strong illusions of him for the enemy team, basically means you can have your own little version of Phantom Lancer. I believe it's still the 8 illusion limit, but I could be wrong about that. I'd have to actually... I don't know precisely how that limit is coded in, but I would find out. And then Bounty Hunter and Queen of Pain banned out because they're particularly good mids and offlaners, and Nature's Prophet banned out because not only is he a particularly good offlaner who can also retreat to the jungle to get his farm if need be, but Trixie is particularly fond of him. Fnatic is, of course, particularly fond of global strats, and Nature's Prophet builds very well into those, what with his ability to not only teleport everywhere on the map, but have a big effect on lanes he's not in. Beastmaster right there can be... The way Fnatic plays him is decidedly global. You basically go... You go bottle, you get like your early basic items, you can get like an urn, or you can get some drums if you really need to, if nobody else is getting those, and then you just get Boots of Travel, and Fnatic will just watch for... Basically, the Hawk is going to be scouting out all game from Beastmaster, looking for gank targets. As soon as they find one, it's boom, poured in from Beastmaster, immediate roar, just to lock down whoever it is. And it's a very potent way of taking people out in the mid-game, especially if you can get it particularly fast. Jakiro are going to be picked up by Mouz Sports, picking up the support hero they so desperately needed, and giving them some good AoE stun, a much more reliable stun than Gyrocopter's missile, which is one of the least effective stuns in the game. And of course, I mean, on top of all that, it gives them actually some very nice team fight, especially when comboed with the Magnetar. Jakiro is already a particularly good team fighter just because all of his stuff has a pretty good AoE. He has the very nice line stun, he has the Macropyre, which is amazing in a team fight. But if you get the Magnetar initiation, you catch just 2 heroes in it, you know, they get reverse polarity, they get skewered back to the team. Ice Path Macropyre, they're going to die. I mean, you're already generally going to kill skewered heroes if you're kind of on an even farm sort of basis with them, but Jakiro just guarantees it. And not only that, but he prevents the enemy team from wanting to come in after them, because walking on a Macropyre carpet is certain death, especially for a hero like Phantom Lancer. His illusions will just melt until he has his heart. So I actually really like that Jakiro pickup, if you couldn't tell by the by how quickly I jumped into explaining why it was awesome. Jakiro has been one of my favorite heroes for many years, and you know, since the wow, okay. So they're picking up an offlane carry in Weaver, and that, I mean, he's definitely a strong hero, and he can do a whole lot. But not only does Mouz have a chance to pick another solid stunner, they already have. I mean, the Jakiro, I actually find to be particularly, if you know where the Weaver's going, he can be particularly good against him because of the fact that you can catch him when he's already Shikuchi'd with the Ice Path. And I'm fairly sure, this is something I should know, I'm fairly sure Ice Path reveals when you catch someone with it. So if they catch the Shikuchi'd Weaver, it gives them another chance to dust him, it gives them a chance to put some sort of targeted stun on him to lock him down for longer and let him come out of Shikuchi. So it's not that Weaver's a bad hero by any means. He can be very powerful, but I think it depends a lot on what Mouz Sports feel they can get out of this final pick. If they can afford to pick somebody who's very much a stunner, maybe they want to go with a Lion. Because, I mean, it's also incredibly useful to be able to lock down a Phantom Lancer for a long time to prevent him from double walking away. A Lion, of course, has some of the absolute best lockdown in the game and still has ridiculous early bursts to get a lot of ganking going on. And it would mean that with the Magnus, I mean, the mid-game of Magnus, Jakiro, Lion just running around ganking people, that could be incredibly potent if that's what they want to do. Would really put a lot of pressure on Fnatic to ward up and be careful. But they're going to take the Enchantress. So that'll be their third support. So it probably is going to be an offlane Magnus, or they could be running an aggressive jungle Enchantress along with Jakiro and Lifestealer to try and go against the Coddle Rubik Phantom Lancer tri-lane, put the Magnus in the mid lane, and have Gyro just safe lane farm against the Weaver. And basically say, okay, Era, you can have your Weaver farm, but we're going to make sure that we get our Gyrocopter plenty farmed up too. And of course, we're going to be trying to lock down your Phantom Lancer and farm our Lifestealer at the same time. So, I wish I knew who anyone on Mouz Sports was, because they've all changed their names, and I don't know if that's actually Kuroki or if somebody is just trolling. See, well, that's one of my favorite things about Fnatic. They may troll their names when they're streaming, and they may mess around. When push comes to shove, you know who's who on their team. They always have that, Trixie on the Phantom Lancer. That's unusual. You'd usually have Era playing an Era on the Weaver. Maybe Era is just much more comfortable on Weaver than Trixie is. I mean, the rest of the picks make perfect sense. The rest of the hero assignments, rather, not picks. But Trixie is generally an offlaner or a jungler, and Era is usually playing the tri-lane carry. I have to see if maybe they want to do a solo safe lane Phantom Lane. No, that doesn't make any sense. Why would they try to aggressive try? And the Weaver is decidedly an offlane pick. He's a much better offlaner than Phantom Lancer. So maybe they need to swap. Maybe they're just trolling me. They do that from time to time. I wonder if that's why they're talking. They're paused and they're doing all that stuff. But anyway, over on Mouz side, we have Pos on the Magnus, Alex on the Jakiro, RMN on the Lifestealer, Q on the Gyrocopter, and maybe Kuroki. I'm just going to call him maybe. We have maybe on the Enchantress. God, no. Okay, I'm not doing that because the amount of jokes I'm going to get about that goddamned pop song are just unbelievable. I'll just call him Kuroki. It's not like any of my 5 viewers are going to rage at me in chat anyway. Oh my god, it's not Kuroki. It's someone trolling. And then over on Fnatic's side, we have Era on the Weaver, Trixie on the Phantom Lancer, No Tail on the Rubik, Fly on the Keeper of the Light, and Hani on the Beastmaster. Midmaster. I love that hero. I'm always so happy when I see him get picked up, because he kind of, he fell off for a bit. He was really popular when there was a whole lot of ancient stacking going on, and he was a very popular offlaner. I forget what specific nerf made that less viable, but something happened to make Beastmaster a less popular offlane pick. Or maybe he just faded. Maybe he faded and I just wasn't paying attention at the time. But this was months ago, and it's nice to see him return to the mid lane, 'cause that's where I really feel he belongs. Because if you mid him and he does well, and he can do very well, because axes are incredibly annoying to lane against if you're against a good Beastmaster. The Inner Beast, of course, lets him control runes actually quite well because of how nicely it pushes the lane up. So the lane is usually up here, and since you're a melee last hitter, you don't need to worry about fighting uphill. Oh, we do have Fly getting caught out by a quick slow, and then an Ice Path. Telekinesis is going to try and save him from the Lifestealer, but damage is coming out. He's definitely going to go down. Alex is going to take the first blood on that Jakiro. And there, Mouz strikes first. Just Keeper of the Light getting caught out, and it's, this aggressive tri-lane, I mean, already showing its power. That's how nasty it can be. The open wound slow is a free Ice Path. Ice Path becomes a pretty amazing stun pretty quickly. I mean, 1 second stun at first level, but the radius it has is just huge, and the way it can be used as kind of an area denial sort of thing, as well as just a solid disable, is also particularly impressive.
No.
So we'll have to see there. Hey, I did call the lanes for Mouz. Woohoo! Means I'm getting better at this thing we call casting. Because I actually kind of understand Dota. Isn't that fun, guys? You're listening to someone who has a vague understanding of how the game works. Yeah! So Trixie going to be just trying to get farmed up here, not trying to... It looks like Enchantress is just going to be contesting a little bit against No Tail, trying to contest those pulls. Maybe she wants to... looks like she's going to go in for a slow on a Hani, maybe. But he knows it's coming, so he runs away from the jungle. If he had run up right here, he probably would have died, because Enchantress would come down to about here, gotten a quick slow on him, and Gyrocopter just would have finished him off. Really excellent games. Maybe it was just pure luck. I'm going to call it game sense, because Hani is really good at this game. In case y'all didn't know. He's been on, the the Han scene. He was in the Dota scene. He was in the Han scene for a while, but he's been in the Dota scene for a long, long time. He's always been impressive. No Tail just doing these pulls, getting himself a little bit of experience. Pull that medium camp, pull it faster. Looks like he's gonna get it. Or is he? No, Mud Golems. Mud Golems too slow. Mud Golems. Mud Golems. Mud Golems are pretty much just the bane of everybody for some reason or another. No hero likes them. Doom would love them if he could devour them and take the magic immunity. Because can you imagine a perma magic immune Doom? That wouldn't be imbalanced. Looks like we do have Lifestealer going to come in, try and get something done around the back, but they get spotted out by a creep, and just... We have Kuroki sitting here... Well, we have Enchantress, who might be Kuroki, sitting there. There's the telekinesis on Lifestealer, just defensive. The Ice Path is going to come out after the open wounds, though. Lots of damage come out. No Tail's definitely going to go down right there. And the problem is there's not a lot that Trixie can do to help with this, especially if he's over here. By the time he runs back to try and help, I mean, his teammate's already dead. Oh, he's got to be careful here. He might get open wounds himself into that Ice Path. Maybe they don't want to go. No, they don't want to go unless it's definite. And with Kuroki, with Enchantress, oh god, that's gonna ruin me all game and for the next 2 games, isn't it? Jeez. Trixie already has his tranquils up, so at the very least they won't be able to harass him out of lane. But this is not a lane that's focused on harassing you up there. This is a lane that's focused on killing you. We have actually the... Oh no, you know what? I didn't call the lanes. The Gyrocopter's mid, the Magnetar is bottom. I thought the Magnetar would be mid. Especially against a melee mid where he'd be able to just farm up so easily. You had to know the Beastmaster was going mid, but I guess they'd rather get the Gyro extra farmed and try to slow down the Beastmaster. Looks like we do have a chase coming down here onto Enchantress. He's gonna get telekinesis up. Beautiful TP in by No Tail. Perfect timing to get there just in time to pick her up on the way out. Excellent, excellent play from Fnatic. Good coordination. And Fly and No Tail just gonna rotate back towards the top lane. They're getting their experience and their levels, at least a little bit. Keeper almost level 3. We'll have to see if he goes for another level in Illuminate, or if he goes for the stability with the Chakra Magic. There's not a lot of spam happening in the lane, so I wouldn't be surprised if he went for Illuminate, just so he could pressure the offensive lane a little more effectively, make them less apt to go on Trixie. Looks like they do want to go in and smack him a little bit. RMN taking a lance for his trouble, but then just backing off. That's a decent chunk of damage he took there, about 250. And there we go. Alright, maybe he is... Yeah, he did go for the level 2 Chakra so that they can get the Lance spam started. Looks like Beastmaster going to be coming towards the top lane. Gets a Illusion Rune, but has to run away from a DD Gyrocopter, who does hit him with a missile, but doesn't really feel like going in after him. Interesting choice. I would have thought he could have probably killed him. Alright, Gyrocopter thinking about engaging here on Hani. Lots of damage coming out from that DD rune. No, he's gonna fall back. Doesn't want to get caught too hard by that tower. But that's a lot of damage. I'm surprised he's not just popping Flak Cannon to harass right now. Oh, slow coming out from Kuroki, from Enchantress. The Dark Troll Warlord net is going to happen. Damage coming in from the Gyrocopter. He's going to back off, though, as the TP starts to come in. And they just used the TP. They knew that they weren't going to get either of the heroes that came in for Hani, so they used the TP until the Gyrocopter backed off and then just canceled it. Stay exactly where they are. I believe that was Fly. I might be crazy. Oh, Fly and No Tail look like they want to get a little wraparound smoke here. They know that Enchantress is not nearby. Or maybe they're hunting her, actually. You know, maybe they think she's right here. She's getting something done, but no, apparently not. Are they going for the mid lane, perhaps? Try and get a little bit of damage out on that Gyrocopter and free up a little bit of space for Hani over here. Lane is going to be pushing up nicely into them, but it looks like Gyro suspects something is up. He's just backing off. Maybe it may just be perfect timing for him. Maybe he's just trying to pick up this camp really quickly so it respawns itself. Or he's just got fantastic game sense. You know, could be, could be. Looks like No Tail and Fly. They were spotted by this ward most likely when they came out of that smoke. So no gank is going to happen here. And it looks like actually we have Lifestealer and Jakiro thinking about coming towards the mid lane. But with Fly and No Tail backing off, they probably won't get anything down here. Might have Enchantress engaging down here onto Weaver. She's got a couple of Centaurs ready to stun. Oh, RP is going to be burned. She's going to get the chain stun off from the Centaur. There's one, there's two, and he's going to go down. Enough damage coming out within the span of those 3 nice stuns to get some work done. And that was, you know, just Era, not realizing that there were a lot of stuns waiting in the wings for him after that RP. Knew he could live through the RP, knew he could probably live through the RP plus 1, but RP plus 2, just a little too much even for a Weaver. Not enough time to get a time-lapse off at the end of that.
Thanks.
Hani gonna take a missile, but immediately bottle and get salved back up. As his farm. He's 830 gold. So let's see here. Last hits, we have Phantom Lancer leading the way, 39 and 8. Gyrocopter in second at 31 and 13. That's a lot of denies going out right there. Ice Path is going to come out defensively, trying to slow people down and get on the Gyrocopter. Hani gets netted on the way out. He's got a missile coming at him. Call down, not going to catch him, just barely. Fade Bolt going to lower a little bit of damage there. That missile is coming right in. Is Alex going to try to follow that up with something? Is the Ice Path going to come out? No. They don't want to keep engaging that. Too much damage coming out from the Illuminate. Alex did not feel comfortable engaging into that, and probably smart, because No Tail's telekinesis was just coming off cooldown. Probably could have picked him up real quick before Gyrocopter could have gotten in to help him out. In the end, it still was a 2 versus 3, meaning it was dangerous to engage in the first place, but the defensive Ice Path probably saved Gyro's life right there, cutting Fnatic off from being able to pursue. So I think the significant difference we have to look at here is we have a 46 and 9 Phantom Lancer going against a 23 and 2 Lifestealer, because there's not enough pressure up here. The supports have to keep rotating to other lanes, and yeah, the Lifestealer is done up here. He says, alright, the objective of this aggressive tri-lane has not been achieved. It will not be achieved. I need to go and kind of go into panic farm mode and try to get as much as I can, as quick as I can, so I'm able to have some mid-game effectiveness right here. So they're just going to leave Trixie to farm and try to get enough of a mid-game advantage right now to do something against the late-game power of the Phantom Lancer Weaver combo that they're up against. Because barring some like ridiculous wombo combos with the RP and the Jakiro, late game, well, no, okay. Barring a Rapier build coming out from Gyrocopter, which is always a possibility. Oh, looks like we do have an RP, gonna catch 2, Ice Path coming in, Dual Breath and Call Down, that'll just annihilate those poor supports. Rubik and Keeper of the Light getting destroyed, and Hani knew better than to try and help them right there. Although I don't know why he's hanging out too close here. The slow from Enchantress might be enough. The Roar is going to push Jakiro back just far enough that he couldn't get in for the Ice Path. Just out of range to drop that, and it ruined his timing. Oh man, really well placed Roar to make sure he got the Enchantress, and oh, looks like Gyrocopter might be next on the Billy. Takes a lot of damage from a couple of nukes, just barely wanding up to dodge the death from that Illuminate. Hani's got to be saving up for some axes, but no, he's going to pour it out before they come off cooldown. Enchantress now coming around from the side, trying to get something done, trying to make sure to flank around and maybe get something in the mid lane here, but against 3 heroes, she doesn't feel particularly comfortable. Sentry going down to do a little bit of counter warding right here. A little bit of damage coming down on the mid tower, but not much. Phantom Lancer and Weaver. That's a problem. Phantom Lancer and Weaver are the 2 top last hitters in this game right now. However, the Gyrocopter did get 2 kills, so he's a little above the Weaver on net worth. But the fact that, first of all, the offlane Weaver is farming so incredibly well, because they didn't dedicate anything to slowing him down. They got 1 gank in from the Enchantress, and that's it. And the gank on the Enchantress means they weren't really focusing on the Phantom Lancer, and they were just giving him farm. And that's, I mean, part of the power of having a Phantom Lancer up here, who you really need to keep controlled, and a Weaver down here, who you really need to keep controlled. That's 2 heroes on the complete opposite ass end of the map, both of whom need ganks, both of whom need pressure, but if you go to pressure one, the other one has a lot of free time, especially if you burn TPs to try and catch someone unawares so they don't see you moving around with wards, and you try to get in without being seen. Or if you burn smoke. I mean, either way, you're spending money to try and get around the map without getting seen instead of just applying lane pressure to someone. And if you burn TPs to get down, say you burn TPs to drop a couple heroes on the Weaver, the Phantom Lancer then has a full minute of farm where he just doesn't even have to worry about your TP ganks. So as long as he doesn't have a ward at the moment, but say he had a ward like right here, and maybe he wouldn't even have to worry about TPs coming in. But here we go. Speaking of TPs coming in, Pos is going to be looking for a nice little skewer into RP, just trying very, very hard to be patient, setting himself up. But Trixie feels like he knows something's coming here. He's doppel-walked up. I mean, he didn't have it on a ward, but he must just see that there's no one on the map. He must assume that they're coming to gank him. Now he sees the Magnetar and probably figures, yeah, they're waiting somewhere. They want to get a skewer RP in on me. It's just, yeah, now they know that's an illusion, so they know Trixie has spotted out, but oh, maybe not. Oh, we do have No Tail is going to spot it out, though. He's going to pick up on both Enchantress and Jakiro waiting in the woods right there. And that's just, they're just going to back off. They know they're not going to get anything now. The jig is up. And Trixie just going to continue farming. Looks like we have a quick enchant slow coming out. Or no, not a slow. She picked up the... that is not a Wild Wing Ripper. That's a Satyr Hellcaller. Why does it say Wild Wing Ripper, guys? Is anything else screwed up like that? Wild Wing. Hill Troll. I wonder if that happens in game or if it's because I'm in a replay or what. That's kind of funny. Mud Golems. Mud Golems. They're everywhere. Guys, help! There's too many Mud Golems. Looks like we do have... They think... Oh, they know Trixie's back there, but they just can't get to him in time. And now that's a little dangerous to be hanging out in there. Weaver just going to quickly go on through, but they do have a sentry down, so they can spot him out. But Trixie only ported back to the next tower. Picks off Alex very quickly with a lance. Paw's going to run away. They picked off Fly. Do they have a stun for Paw's? No, it's 7 seconds till telekinesis. Looks like Hani is trying to chase down Enchantress right now. Does he have... He has the roar if he needs to. He's trying not to burn it, but he might just have to. He's got a missile chasing him. No, he's going to go down to the Weaver. Excellent. So nice patience, nice restraint shown by Hani right there. I would have burned the roar, personally, and you know, he didn't need to. And by not doing it, Weaver still got the kill. And it's more valuable for Weaver to get the kill, really, than for a Beastmaster who already has his port boots to actually get somewhere. All in exchange, they are going to lose their mid tower. Some damage is going to come out on their bottom tower, but I think that was definitely a good little exchange they got up there. They got the Magnus, right? I'm not crazy? No, they got the Chikiro. They got the Chikiro and the Enchantress. The Magnus got out. Magnus is the one who ported. Still, 2 heroes for a tower and some damage. Reasonably solid, especially when your Weaver and your Phantom Lancer are the ones who picked up the kills. So that's a kill for both of the heroes with strong carry potential on Fnatic. Now Fly just going to sit here, try to get a little bit of counter pushing done here, make sure that none of the creeps are going to push up and help that lifestealer out.
Radiant's mid towers.
Bit of a counter push coming in here. Is that Boar? The Boar is flying. I don't know if this is just the glitchiest replay ever. Oh my god, the Boar says Scout Hawk.
Mid tower could use a hand.
Guys, something is wrong. That's a mega... Oh my god. Okay, I'm not going to click on things anymore. Spiderlings. This is legitimately creepy. I feel like it's not happening to any of the heroes. What is the ward? The ward is oh, I'm done. I'm done. Necronomicon archers now cost 100 gold. You heard it here first. Hippie has proven it to you. Necronomicon archer. If you could buy 6-minute versions of those for 100 gold, pushing would be the only metagame.
Radiant's bottom towers seen better days.
Looks like we are having a bit of a push coming in here on the bottom tower. Fort is going to be used, but without... I mean, looks like they're just going to trade for top. Are they going to try and port in? Looks like... Oh, there's Magnus is going to port in. He's going to try to get an RP. Is he going to get anyone? He does not catch anyone. Nice roar to slow him down a little bit. The Rage is going to allow the Lifestealer to get through and avoid a lot of that return damage, though. So they do pick off Beastmaster, and they didn't actually lose their tower. That's going to get denied. Nice little catch there by Mouz. I mean, things... It looked like they were just going to trade 1 for 1, but instead they get 1, and they don't really care.
Radiant disown their bottom tower.
Ooh. Alright, Trixie now has both of his Blades of Alacrity. Oh, now he's... Okay, so Trixie is 650 gold away from his Diffusal Blade, 15 minutes. So, 17 minutes or so, he'll probably have that up. Reasonably good timing, because, you know, Tranquil, Aquila, and Diffusal at 17 minutes is reasonably on par. He's getting plenty of last hits to make sure he facilitates that. Hani gonna be coming in. Does get mana burned by the Satyr. God, that never even happens. People barely use that ability, but good heads-up play by our Enchantress, by maybe Kuroki. The player who may or may not be Kuroki. Smoke is gonna come out from Fnatic. Looks like they want to try and catch Mouz, maybe pushing in a little more. They may want to sneak through the jungle, try and catch them as they retreat back to farm. Kuroki looking very low on life. He would be a very tempting target for No Tail if he could get any sort of telekinesis going on. Fly porting someone into him, porting in Era to do a little bit of chasing. Looks like we do have a roar coming out on the Lifestealer, burning off all of that rage time, and of course the slow he infests into the creep. But you know, obviously Hani knows better than to just let it sit there. He started immediately running it back, so Lifestealer was forced to burn out, and then lifted out of his TP and killed. Nice little pick off by Fnatic, something they need. They are a little bit behind in kills. How are they doing in terms of So there's actually, just because of the increased creep farm, they're winning on XP, and they are, however, losing on gold. Okay. So that's probably because of the tower pushes. 3 towers down for Mouz, only 1 down for Fnatic, and it's denied. Kuroki looks, or Enchantress, maybe Kuroki, will be next on the docket, and she does indeed go down to that Weaver. Who had the offensive earn charge on her? It must have been Hani. Yeah. But Weaver getting the kill. And there's the Diffusal Blade, 17 minutes, coming out for Phantom Lancer. So that's something that Mouz is going to start needing to worry about, is Trixie now does some pretty reasonable damage and can get a lot of work done with that Diffusal. He's opted for 2 points in the Doppelwalk, a little more of a defensive build. I actually really like that, simply because he was in such a tough lane, and obviously the gank potential over on Mouz is very, very high, so I like that he's got a little more into his survivability skill. No Tail pushing up bottom lane. Gyrocopter, nothing big yet. Looks like he's going to be going for a quick BKB. I mean, he could be going Aghanims, but that's more. I mean, that's pretty darn rare on a Gyrocopter nowadays. I don't think you really see it ever. It was more of a item when you were playing a support gyro, and you thought you just got way too much farm too quickly. You could build an Ags just because it gives you that extra global presence, or if you're running a global strat and you happen to have a Gyrocopter in it. But because Lifestealer isn't getting like a huge amount of farm, how is he on net worth? He's he's top farmer on their team, but he's still decently behind with the Phantom Lancer and the Weaver. Oh, looks like Enchantress getting picked off by that global presence coming out from the Beastmaster. There was a Hawk watching right here, and his boots are on cooldown. I assume he ported right in on top of her. The things you learn from checking cooldowns. There is a Lifestealer invested into the Magnus, however. He can get a huge RP! Huge RP, so much AoE damage coming out. The Lifestealer bomb, the call down. Era's going to time-lapse, but is it going to be enough? Paz now running away. The Gyrocopter picked up 2 kills already. Going to put the chase on the Hani. There comes a stun going to come out. There's no way he's going to get away from this. Hani next to fall. Gyrocopter with a triple kill. Era trying to just Shikuchi out. Cut the losses right there for Fnatic. That was an excellent RP, and the call down with the Lifestealer bomb combined, it was just too much AoE damage for Fnatic to withstand. And Hani probably could have lived through that. I think he hung around a little longer than he should have. He was trying to get the Magnus, who just skewered out through here, because since he has his Blink Dagger, and that was his big reveal, which that was a pretty worthwhile reveal right there. Oh, looks like RMN going to get engaged on by Trixie up here. Trying to slow him down, pushing the tower, but not going to get anything done. PL pops off a tower and goes back just ahead of that Gyrocopter in farm. He had fallen behind after that triple kill, but not anymore. 138 last hits coming out at the 19-minute mark for Trixie. He's just getting work done. Really, really good at just finding farm wherever it may be. Oh, it looks like he's picked up an item, something coming out to him. He's got his Yasha, so he's going to be going a Manta style. He's not going to be tanking up quite yet, which, honestly, I mean, a whole lot of what Mouz has is really good AoE and a flak cannon. So on the one hand, the Manta is really nice for a split pushing build, because it lets you just pop the Manta illusions, and they can make an army somewhere for you, and you don't even have to, like, start it off yourself or anything. On top of which, it gives you 2 extra illusions to start pushing with. But I would have liked him to kind of tank up and go a team fighting build. Roshan is a skeleton warrior, guys. I noticed that the life bar was kind of low, and it's just, everything's just a little glitchy right here. Looks like we're going to have a roar out onto Alex. He is not going to be living through this, especially not when he falls victim to his own ice path, stolen by Rubik. No Tail getting some good work done this game between telekinesis, and that was probably the first particularly amazing spell steal I saw, but he's had some really great telekinesis holds this game. Well timed. And they are just going to go back in to try to take Roshan, which Phantom, how did they pull? Oh, converted by Enchantress, of course. So she too, similar to Shadow Demon, can create you your own little army, but I'm not sure if they have a different illusion cap when they're enchanted or when they're duplicated by disruption. Looks like a skewer in, gonna get him right into the ice path, and then telekinesis, all damage coming out. The Lifestealer comes out, but doesn't actually catch anybody with that Infest Bomb. But he is just gonna go in and finish the Roshan. They left him so low! They handed them Roshan because they were afraid of that reverse polarity, and as well they should be. But just, oh my gosh, that is not what Fnatic needed right there. They needed to find some way to engage. Oh, and that's the problem with having to deal with a Magnus. And oh, RP is going to come out from the gyro, or not RP, BKB from the gyrocopter. Huge RP going to come out and catch 3 in that choke point. Skewer back in from the Magnus. So much damage. Trixie just trying to run away, trying to not die like the rest of his poor team. Quick, oh, are the illusions going to get him? Yes, they do, just barely. He doesn't have enough mana to get anything else done. He's got 4 charges onto Wand. Nice pick off. They picked off the Aegis. They picked off 4 heroes. How did they? Nice buyback from Hani. Pour right in. Now, the gyrocopter might be the next one to go. I can't believe they're actually managing to get this done. Do they have a stun for him? They don't have the damage. That is too bad. But they did pop off the Aegis and 3 heroes and what? I don't know. I mean, I'll admit, I'm kind of a little baffled as to what happened right there. I wish I had somebody who had been watching it a little more closely with me. But, oh man, really excellent buyback coming out. Nice TP in from Hani playing that Beastmaster. Just let them get kills that should not have been there, kills that they shouldn't have had, and really kind of nullify the entire Roshan advantage. So now the experience is in Fnatic's favor. The gold, I mean, it spiked up a little bit when the Roshan and those kills happened, and it immediately spiked about halfway back down as soon as those counter kills happened from Fnatic. Man, they really got some work done there to try and nullify that advantage. And burning off the Aegis was hugely important, because it means that Mouz doesn't just get free teamfight wins out of that. And that's really what Fnatic has to worry about, is losing a big teamfight and losing a Rax off of it right now. Because as it is, as long as they don't lose Raxes this game, like for a while, they can always farm their way back in on the back of the Phantom Lancer and the Weaver. Unless the Gyro goes for an Aegis, or wow, an Aegis for a Rapier. He's not really going the traditional Rapier build. And actually something that, I believe it was Airman playing for Virtus Pro. I'm fairly sure it was Airman. He had his name changed, but nobody else plays Gyrocopter for them. Basically, his Helm of the Dominator into BKB into Rapier was just his standard build. He did it 2 games in a row and just demolished people with it. It was pretty fantastic to watch, and it's definitely worth checking out that series. You can find it on my YouTube channel. But, and just basically, you got the Life Leech and a little bit of damage to let you get some stable farm going. He maxed out Flak Cannon very, very quickly, and then just dumped a bunch of points into stats to make himself more tanky. And then got a BKB, so he couldn't be stun-locked, and then just went straight to Rapier, because he had everything he wanted to just Flak Cannon down the entire team. And it was wonderful, because you get the Rapier so fast that nobody has the HP to withstand you, even the enemy carries. It was really, really excellent. Anyway, we're just going to speed right through this pause. It says only 1 minute. We'll see. G's coming out. Teams are ready to rock.
Alright, carry on.
Heaven or hell. Duel 1. Let's rock. Phantom Lancer illusion gonna smoke right in there. Phantom Lancer himself using the illusion to see if there was a hero there. Popping off another illusion real quick. Still has his, oh no, he lost his... No, he still has his smoke. And the team's now just gonna kinda hang. Not be, particularly interested in fighting each other. Fnatic just wants pick-offs. They're not particularly interested in fighting hardcore at the moment, because that's a huge teamfight advantage. They have much more of a pick-and-push strategy over on Fnatic, whereas Mouz's teamfight is just unbelievably godly. Actually, with Hani having the Boots of Travel, it actually makes him a pretty reasonable split pusher with the Inner Beast. Because if you give a Beastmaster the map mobility to just be anywhere and give this attack speed aura to all the creeps, he can get a whole lot of work done between the axe spam and just creeps winning battles wherever he is. Okay, that's a siege creep. But what about Radiant siege creeps? No, they're the Dire's Ancient. Wow. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting really distracted by that, but it's just kind of hilarious to me that that's going on. Warlock... something has just completely shifted. I'm going to have to go into a game after this. I should stop playing around with it. I'm really sorry, guys. PL Illusion's just pushing in the bottom lane. Kuro going to steal one of them. Enchantress going to steal one of them. God, I'm just calling him Kuro. Forget it. Kuro going to steal one of them. Trying to force him to propagate, but it was a little too low. Trixie going to be farming up these Ancients real quick. Very nearly got his Manta. Only a few hundred more gold to go.
Radiant's mid tower could use a hand.
Era has a Deso. Did not decide to go for the Lincolns. I guess decided he wasn't particularly interested in nullifying any of the spells over on Mouz's side. I mean, really, he'd nullify the Open Wounds, he'd nullify the Enchant, and the Homing Missile, but pretty much all of the particularly good spells that you'd want to dodge from Mouz are AoE. And even then, the Magnus RP, which is the really important one for Weaver to try to dodge so he can get his time-lapse off, goes through your BKB anyway. So he can just go damage and maybe try to tank up a little bit. What he would probably be served by getting a little bit of is some mana regen. Excuse me. Some mana regen. I don't know how he really wants to deal with that, but Weaver needs at least some mana regen to be effective because he needs to be able to spam off the Shikuchi and never really run out. But, you know, doing alright for himself so far with just raw damage. He is sitting at 5-1. So second best KD ratio in the game. The 7-0 Gyrocopter is number 1, but Weaver has 5 assists to go with that. So quite solid going on here. Looks like Phantom Lancer has topped off our net worth. Actually, did Gyro just buy something maybe? Yes, he bought his Manta recipe. So are they about at the same period? Let me see if I can get this. I'm not trying to click on Gyrocopter. I'm trying to click on Phantom Lancer, who has his Manta style. Alright. So, those guys kind of running about even in terms of item pickups at the moment. I mean, just a BKB instead of an Aquila Diffusal. I mean, you can see it on the graph, obviously, they're about even on gold. But I have to give that, as the game goes on, it's going to favor Phantom Lancer more and more, assuming he tanks up. Because the flat cannon just won't be able to rip through those illusions fast enough. Unless we have a Rapier Gyro, which, again, I think is actually particularly fantastic against Phantom Lancer, because it means even when he tanks up, his illusions don't do anything, and you nullify pretty much the hero's entire carry mechanism. Oh, we're going to have a port in on the Scout Hawk coming in from Hani. Pops it again to get himself a bit of extra vision. Daytime does come. And do they know something's happening here? They might suspect. Mouz doesn't want to give up this tier 1 mid tower, but they might lose some heroes for it if they're not careful. Hani now. Oh, Kuro going to be engaged upon. He pops off the Enchantress heal very, very quickly, trying to get a little bit of survivability. The PL illusions get nuked down very quickly. Fnatic looks like they're a little reluctant to engage into this. They don't know what's going to come in. Lifestealer might spot out Hani if they're not careful. I mean, it's hard to tell from it when... Oh, Gyro's going to pick off the Weaver before any real engagement happens up in the top lane. So Gyro can now just happily show up in the mid lane and team fight here without having to worry about the Weaver getting worked on in the top lane. That's pretty significant, although tower does go down. So there's no real reason for Mouz to fight this, but Kuroki is going to get slowed and caught anyway. Flat Cannon is going to come out and deal a lot of damage to the Weaver Scarabs, but not a lot more. Lifestealer is going to get out just barely. Just barely. And, oh, pause coming out from Fnatic. Something's wrong. Speeding through it. Speeding through it. That last... I don't know why Kuroki stayed so... Whoop, there we go. Why Kuroki stayed so close in. Like, he didn't have any reason to be there after the tower went down. He just basically got picked off for nothing. There's another tower going down because they don't have to worry about a 5-on-5 engagement. The Weaver is back in. Alex is getting caught by an Ice Path again. Is he going to go down? Yes, he is. The Keeper of the Light auto attacks. Trixie just barely getting out of the way right here. Almost dead. He pops to the Infest Bomb. Coming out, triple stun, beautiful Ice Path, but no follow-up to do anything about it. That is really unfortunate. No-Tail going to just port out. The rest of the team is just going to run. 1-for-1 exchange, but Jakiro for your Phantom Lancer is not an exchange you want to deal with. Hani now going to come down here and push this bottom lane, try and just keep a lot of pressure on Mouz, give Trixie space to farm when he gets back, make sure they don't have... Because with both lanes pushed out, they don't really want to push up middle, and, like... That's the lane they could feasibly push up in the time it would take Trixie to respawn. But with both other lanes pushing, Mouz doesn't really have a window to do it anyway because they take so much damage on one of these towers. They might even lose one to creep push while they're trying to push up mid that it wouldn't be worth it. So basically that split pushing, just denying Mouz any chance to capitalize on that Phantom Lancer pickoff. That was some dive coming in there. He was a little... further than he needed to be, because it's not like he was auto-attacking anyone. His illusion was getting the work done. Looks like Hani is just about to finish his Aghanim Scepter. So we're going to see some of those very nice long-range roars coming out. I think it makes it 900, 950, something like that. And gives it a nice 45-second cooldown at the same time. So he can just blow that off whenever he wants to and initiate from way out of range of any sort of counter-initiation. Except, of course, for a Blink Skewer. But it also means that if the Blink Skewer happens, it's possible he can stun out the Magnus if he's really, really quick and has a very fast finger, and the Magnus saves the RP till after the Skewer, which is unusual, but it happens. Then he might actually be able to stun the Magnus before the the RP gets off and really nullify a great positional advantage. At the same time, even if the RP does get off, he can safely nullify either the lifestealer or the gyrocopter from wailing on the RP'd heroes just by throwing off that 950 range Beastmaster roar. And then 45 seconds later, so if the engagement drags on for a little bit, he'll just have it again and grab another hero. Smoke coming in is Roshan. Roshan is about to be up. They're trying to get a little bit of a positional advantage right here. The boar does see the Enchantress creep, and Alex has shown himself as well. So the jig is kind of up. Mouz isn't going to sneak in, but both teams definitely need to be ready to contest this Roshan. This could be very, very pivotal. Very, very even game right now. We have a practically even experience graph. Little less even of a gold graph, about 3,000 advantage for Fnatic. So they've really managed to pick up and find extra farm and make sure they've, been trading about even on kills, but I think it's the creep farm mostly, yeah. 222 on the Phantom Lancer, 189 on the Weaver. Lots and lots of creep farm going their way this game. Looks like Fnatic is kind of ready to flank in on this, but engaging in this space right here really favors Mouz Sports because of how strong their team fight is. I mean, that's... alright, so the Weaver Scarabs are in, so they know what's going on right here. Roshan beginning to go down, though not particularly quickly. Phantom Lancer Illusion's pushing every lane, pushing most of the lanes. Hani is ready to port into engage whenever he wants to. All three lanes pushing up very, very nicely for Fnatic. Are they going to choose to engage on this? It looks like they are. Beastmaster's going to push himself right into the pit. He's going to get a roar off on the Lifestealer. He tries to rage away. Lots of damage coming at the Lifestealer. He's going to manage to infest into someone to live. Huge RP coming out, getting 3. Skewer them back in. Huge team fight victory coming out for Mouz. Trying to chase down the Weaver. Phantom Lancer immediately buys back in, try to get something done. And it looks like the Weaver and the PL, they're going to try and re-engage on this with the slow coming out. Did he time-lapse? Alright, yeah, he time-lapsed right back out. But, oh, this is definitely dangerous for Fnatic. Roshan is so low. They can't really do anything about it. All their good teamfight heroes are gone. I mean, like I said, engaging in this small confined space is hugely advantageous for that. Oh, man. That, Magnus. I mean, you saw a huge RP, and is Trixie going to get himself caught out again? That would be terrible, terrible. The Magnus does have a gem, so they can see him if he tries to run away. Pops the Manta to try and dissuade people from chasing him. They don't really want to just take a lot of damage from those illusions. Does manage to get away. So Fnatic cutting their losses at least a little bit, but a wasted buyback from Trixie, pretty much. So not only did he die there, and they lost the fight for the Aegis, but he spent buyback gold and got nothing out of it. That's a pretty big swing in the favor of Mouz, even bigger than it already was, because they forced that. And now they're happy to just back off and farm, which I'm not wholly sure I agree with. I think they should be pressuring a little more. Oh, Demon Edge. We know what that probably means. Gyro going for a Rapier most likely, but I'm not sure that's the wisest choice without any sort of life leech. I mean, that's kind of almost something that's necessitated on any sort of Rapier purchase. Is if you don't have life leech to sustain yourself and to pick yourself back up if they deal a lot of damage to you quickly, it's really dangerous to pick up. Especially because you have your BKB and you don't have to worry about a lot of like regular stuns and regular damage coming out, but in the space of one Beastmaster stun, you can get dropped. That's a really dangerous thing to be going for. Maybe he's just going for MKB. Maybe I'm kind of looking a little too high here, but I've seen so many Rapier gyrocopters recently, I'm leaning a little bit towards it being picked up. It's becoming almost standard. Almost. At least for a few people. Obviously, Airman thinks it is, and he was dominatingly good with it, so... Oh, man. Hani and Era pushing up the lane down here. Tower is reasonably low. They can definitely bring it down quickly if they don't get any sort of response. Scout Hawk going to be watching for port-ins, watching for any kind of movement coming out from Mouz. Yeah, lots of damage coming out. That tower's going to drop almost immediately. But Mouz is just going to try and take this mid-tower. In exchange, it's about as low. Manta being popped by the gyro. Fadebolt's going to go out. No Tail taking so much damage so quickly. That's just brutal. It's not even with a Rapier. He just doesn't have that many hit points. Lots and lots of damage. Trixie spamming out Lances, trying to slow down the push. Gyro finishing it off. Coddle Nuke was not fast enough to get anything done. This is going to be a 1-for-1 tower trade. A little bit of damage being put onto the tier 3 by Fnatic, but not enough to really get anything done. Era just going to port out. He's also got his Manta. This is an illusion-heavy game, man. Not only do you have a Phantom Lancer, but you have 3 Manta styles. Now Trixie just saying, "You wanna stop my push? What are you gonna do about it, punks? Huh? Huh?" Gyrocopter, however, doing the same kind of thing, just messing up the equilibrium, pushing things over. God, it's so big on the map. That's what was confusing me. Oh God, alright, I have to stop. I promised I would stop. I hope this won't happen in the next replay, because it just distracts the hell out of me. Oh man. Looks like Fnatic going to be moving towards the bottom lane. They are smoked up, looking for a pick-off. The Lifestealer maybe senses something is going on, though. Backs up. Looks like maybe they're using Trixie as bait. The rest of the team's smoked up right behind him. You'd think that, you know, oh look, it's a Phantom Lancer so close to our base, but wisely, Mouz Sports not getting drawn in. Very, very dangerous to assume that a Phantom Lancer is willing to put himself just that far up, who looks like he doesn't have support. He has to have backup. Now he's just, you know, ported up to the top lane to get himself even more farm. He has picked up his Vitality Booster. He can afford a Reaver if he wants one, but he's probably going to be saving some buyback gold. Costing him 1100 at the moment, and it is... Oh, Gyrocopter picking off Phantom... What? I think I just lost track of the hero completely. Wow, I'm really sorry. I think I actually just got fooled by an illusion. Brilliant moment of my life. I was so busy looking at his items. Oh, alright, Gyro did go for MKB. So he's just nullifying the possibility of a butterfly pickup, giving himself that extra little mini bash damage, the attack speed. I mean, obviously the mini bash should only work on the main attack, unless I'm incorrect in how Black Cannon works, but I'm fairly sure that it's treated just like Critical Strike in that respect. Gyro not carrying it, he's still low on health because he still has that Aegis. Has about a minute and 20 left on it, so he wants to get some use out of it real quick. They have to know it's about to wear off. Gyro saying, "Please kill me, please, No Tail, just do it." There we go. All right, he dies to the tower. Gets all of his health back. Gets use out of the Aegis. There's the telekinesis going off though, but they don't have any follow-up in place to do anything with it. Damage going to be coming out. Trixie going to be up in just a second to try to defend this. And actually, we do have Era pushing the bottom lane this entire time. Lots and lots of damage coming out, and actually pushing faster than Mouz is pushing the top lane. Lifestealer having to port back to stop this, and that split push coming out from the Weaver. I mean, this is a very effective split pushing team, and it's something I didn't really consider nearly as much. I mean, yeah, you have the Phantom Lancer and the Coddle, which are excellent kind of global split pushing heroes, but oh, there's the big long-range roar. The Ice Path is going to come out to try and dissuade Fnatic from chasing it. Do they have a stun to stop that? Do they have anything? No! No Tail's telekinesis was still on cooldown. They had nothing to try and... Oh man, if they had a Force Staff or something, but No Tail went for a straight Blink Dagger. Oh, that's so unfortunate. They got this beautiful, beautiful catch out on the retreating Gyrocopter with his Aegis down. And that was an opportunity. If only they'd had one more stun. Would have been huge. Oh, wow. But we just returned to the kind of standoff going on here. Let's see how this is. So we're over 5,000 XP for Mouz. Little over 1,000 gold. So the gold difference pretty much insignificant. The XP difference at this stage also 5,000 is not that significant, just because 1,000 XP isn't even a level for most of the high level heroes. If you're dividing that 5,000 up about evenly, I mean, let's look at hero level. Yeah, the levels are still pretty darn even right here. The only thing I'd look at and be a little worried about is Trixie is actually only level 17, which is pretty surprising given he has 309 last hits. But he's also, you know, 332, so he hasn't really been present for a lot of the fights, hasn't gotten much of that experience boost. He does have his Reaver now, so he's going to be tanking up those illusions quite a bit more. So the Gyrocopter will still have to work harder to bring them down, but I mean, obviously Mouz doing quite well so far, and just their AoE and their team fight power really serving them well, and they're not giving Fnatic a lot of good opportunities to play a sort of pick and push sort of game, which is what they want to play with this team. They have definitely a global sort of, they have pushing power from a lot of different heroes. They have excellent pick heroes, and I mean, No Tail going for the Blink Dagger just means he wants to be ganking constantly with that Rubik. Just, oh, he's got Flat Cannon. That's so mean. Obviously it's not as good on someone that's that doesn't have a lot of damage, but it's still pretty awesome to be a Rubik that suddenly is hitting everyone at once. Looks like Mouz going to be moving towards this top lane, try to get some push on. We do have a lot of push coming in bottom lane again, though. Era right there. Does he have... Yes, he has a TP back. Some illusions helping him out as well. And there, push is coming in on the top lane. Dire Fortification is going to be popped. I don't think Radiant has Fort right now. No, they do not.
There goes
So
Radiant's
Radiant right, Mouz losing their tower, Fnatic also losing their tower. Wow, I'm just tripping over words and thoughts, losing myself completely in this. But bottom Rax is going down. They're just letting the Weaver have his way with it. The Gyrocopter has a TP. People have TPs. Why did they just let themselves lose a Rax? He's taking mid tower now. Do they just think, there we go, they're finally going to port someone back, but oh no, no, they canceled the port. They canceled the port and Era's just getting brought back anyway. So he gets a bottom Rax and half damage on mid tower in exchange for just top tower. Oh, Mouz, what were you thinking? Oh my gosh, I mean, on the one hand, you don't want to let split push pressure stop you from ever pushing into the base, but you either got to commit and get something done and win the fight so you can just take it, or you have to stop the split push, because look, that's a set of Raxes they just lost. Raxes for a tower? Not a worthwhile trade. Alright, well there's the, wow, that's a huge pipe effect on Jakiro. I never noticed that before. Alright, well, there goes top Rax very, very quickly. So Mouz getting a little bit of a return right there. 1 Rax for 1. Oh, Era is still, he was still just down there pushing. He was getting more and more damage in on that tower, and then just gets brought back by the Keeper of the Light. Looks like damage is going to start being applied to the mid-base tower right here for Fnatic. Mouz going to be trying to get something done. Paz just actually skewered out, so they have a good chance to go in without the Magnus being ready. Oh, there's the call down, the BKB from the Gyrocopter, making sure he can't take a whole lot of damage. But oh, it wears off just before the Illuminate. He goes down to the Weaver. So much damage coming out of that Desolator. Oh, the Ice Path from Alex just barely going to stop the Weaver from just melting everyone, but it doesn't matter. Trixie comes in, purges him to slow him down, keep him in range. So much damage coming out, and this could be huge. This could be absolutely massive. You have the Jakiro down for 40, and a bigger thing is the Gyrocopter down for 65. He can buy back. It is ready, so obviously he's going to... Okay, he's going to do that. It can be less huge, but they are going to force a buyback from that Gyrocopter. If he doesn't buy back, which would be silly, they will lose another Rax, and very likely a decent chunk of the game. Always hard to come back from 2 Raxes down, even if you have one down yourself. But especially against some, against the way Fnatic's been playing and the global strat they have and the push power they have, it would be a very simple matter of time for them to get that third set of Raxes down. Looks like they're not going to force the Gyro buyback though. Oh, that's what they're doing. Roshan's up, and they're going to try and be the ones to get it this time. This would be their first Rosh of the game. They got that first one, they got pushed out of the first one, as you might remember, which was pretty significant at that point in the game. But if they get this third Roshan with the cheese, that could be absolutely massive. Looks like they do get it. Weaver picks up the Aegis, Trixie picks up the cheese on that Phantom Lancer, and this is a recipe for a Doom push coming out of Fnatic right here. I mean, Era obviously not going to be afraid of anything. He has that Aegis ready to go. Trixie, I mean, plenty of health. Way to just get it all back at once. So not only do you have to kill 2,500 life from the Phantom Lancer, you got to kill 2,500 more. And he's spawning illusions the whole time with a level 2 Diffusal. Man, this is just what looked like it was actually really starting to swing in Mousesport's favor. How's the XP and gold looking now? It's swung down to a little less than 5,000. And the gold lead, 2,000. Okay, so it's still up, excuse me, a little bit. But, again, I have to emphasize that, I mean, first of all, if you're not able to actually... Oh, there's the Illusion Army coming out from Kuro right there. Dominating an illusion, just letting the rest of them propagate. And that is the danger of picking a Phantom Lancer, is that if they get a Shadow Demon, or if they get an Enchantress who can take control of that, they can basically make their own version of your little army. Anyway, it's just... The late game carry power, like if they don't get their perfect sort of wombo combo initiation going off and they get like a really well fought team fight, if things get a little awkward, if positioning isn't really great, if they kind of find themselves in a space where they can't use all their abilities in concert, Mouz is in serious danger against a Phantom Lancer Weaver in the late game. Satanic is out for the Gyrocopter right now, so he's got a lot of staying power, but that also means he has no buyback if he goes down. Trixie popping up the cheese to try and live. Era is going to take on Enchantress in the back, just sitting there. Paz going to be the next one to get stunned. He hasn't RP'd yet. They're trying to get him before he gets it off, but not going to go down. Looks like Weaver just time-lapse trying to get away. Rubik is down. Paz gets the RP on Trixie, but that's all he catches. Lots and lots of damage coming out from the Lifestealer. The Aegis is finally popped by Weaver. Gyrocopter is just going to be wailing away on this mid-racks, trying to get something done. There it goes. Lifestealer looks like he's going to be the next one to go down. Are they going to catch the Gyrocopter as well? They are going to put out enough damage, and he should not have buyback. He does not have buyback. Whole team is down. Lifestealer does have buyback. Magnus has buyback, but he doesn't have the... but he doesn't have his RP up. So, oh my gosh, this could be huge. They may have gotten 1 racks, but okay, there's a lot of buybacks coming out. Era is going to get the tower. The rest of his team is coming in. And can Lifestealer just fight this? Yeah. Oh no, not with the Beastmaster Roar at the perfect time. Came in and stopped that Lifestealer from just eating Era alive. Damage coming out. Toggles the armlet to get away. Kuroki also, but nothing can really happen right there. He's trying to get that last hit out. Another slow going to come out from the... I don't know why he didn't just go in there and, you know, kill that Lifestealer with his Shikuchi. They still have 40 seconds till the Gyrocopter's up. They have to do something. Looks like Phantom Lancer Illusions are pushing up the top lane, trying to prevent that. They are going to get this Rax right here. No Tail going to get the pickup on Paz. If they can pick him off again, that would be really significant. If he misses the Ice Path, but there goes the mid Rax. Can they? Oh, that tower right there is really significant right now because it means they can't just go and quickly take top. Oh, the Beastmaster Roar is going to come out. They're going to get the Lifestealer. They're going to get the Lifestealer. That's huge. They might get the Enchantress as well. There goes the slow coming out from the Enchantress. So much damage being poured out by Fnatic right here. This is a down-to-the-wire finish. Gyrocopter is just about to get up. They do not have fortification. They do not have fortification. Just so much damage being poured out. Gyro trying to nuke things down, but just too much. Too much of the huge RP to slow them down. Oh, trying to just get out, just hit the Ancient, for the love of God. They're trying to bring down the Gyrocopter so he can't stop them. Flat cannon damage just massive right now. Era, they bring him down. The Gyro is down, and that will be game. Mouz calls it. Unbelievable, down to the wire finish. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Dota. That was amazing. That's all I have to say. Going dark before game 2. Let's see if Mouz can run it back. They just showed they can go blow for blow with Fnatic, and really, I mean, we knew Mouz was a good squad. Let's see how they keep up in game 2. See you in just a second.